Creating content changed my nervous system for the better. Creating content is healing and personal development that can change your life, even if you don't have the desire to make money from it or even to go viral. Most people think that creating content is about going viral, it's about making money, or it's about proving yourself and your worth and your value to some algorithm. But the biggest shifts that I've had from content creation since I've been doing it over the years had nothing to do with how many views I got or how much money I made. In hindsight, I can see that there's been so many benefits for my nervous system and for just my overall confidence and ability to regulate my emotions and communicate with other people. Because here's the thing, at the end of the day, hitting publish on a video, sharing your story, showing your face, letting people see you, letting people feel you, letting people hear you, the real you, that does something within your body, especially over time. Initially, though, it brings up fear, it brings up vulnerability, it brings up a lot of your old patterns that maybe you didn't know were there, that you didn't even know were still running the show beneath the surface. All that comes up. And then learning how to regulate through that, learning how to stay grounded, especially the more visible you become, that changes the game. That's true healing work and true personal development. So today I want to talk about why creating content has changed my nervous system, how it's changed my nervous system, and why it might do the same for you. And you definitely want to watch this whether you want to have a more regulated nervous system, whether you just want to take your personal growth to the next level, whether you just want to explore more of your potential. I don't know. If this resonates with you, watch it to the end. So the thing that we have to talk about first is becoming visible is a biological stressor. Let's start here. Public speaking is a lot of people's number one fear. It's a real stress. Granted, it's not actually anything that could kill you. Okay, but the fact is your body wasn't built for Instagram or YouTube or TikTok. Back in the day, being seen by a crowd, having a bunch of eyes on you literally meant danger. Having too many eyes on you could mean that you're being judged, could mean that you're about to be exiled, or it could even mean that there's a legitimate physical threat. So your nervous system, my nervous system, it still carries that programming. Aside from that, you might have lived experience in history that proves to you and reinforce the idea that ultimately being seen and being visible just is not safe. That's why when you attempt to hit publish on something that feels personal, you feel that rush of heat in your chest, okay? Your heart starts beating, your brain starts running through all sorts of imaginary scenarios like, what if people laugh? What if no one cares? What if nobody watches it? What if I say it wrong? What if so-and-so sees it? All of that is your biology doing what it's supposed to do. Your nervous system is trying to keep you safe. It's on the lookout for potential threats and things that could harm you. I remember the first video I ever posted where I was just keeping it real about me. I wasn't giving tips. I wasn't standing on any type of expertise. I was just sharing me. And I felt all the things, right? I posted it. I refreshed the notifications, to see what was going on, my life depended on it. And that's your body on high alert. And I just want to normalize that. That comes with the territory. And that's okay. You don't have to let that hold you back. And another thing, content creation isn't just about being the most creative. It's just really okay, I'm going to confront this fear of being seen. I'm going to confront this fear of vulnerability. I'm going to confront this fear of owning my own ideas and my own voice. Okay, I know that that's all there and I'm going to show up anyways. And that's something to be proud of, 95% of people will never do this, will never truly experience this. And the more you do it, the easier it gets, and the more your nervous system adapts for the better. At first, every vulnerable personal video where you show up and you're seen, it feels like you're jumping off of a cliff. That's what it feels like. But over time, that leap gets smaller and smaller to where maybe you're only jumping off of a one-story house, right? Like it's not that bad. The fear doesn't like fully disappear ever. At least that's not my experience, but our body just learns over time that, okay, last time I posted, I didn't die. Last time I posted, I didn't die. And I still haven't died. Okay, I can handle this. Now, just imagine how that impacts every single other area of your life that requires you to have courage, that requires you to be vulnerable. That's repetition for regulation. The same principle is used by therapists who slowly expose you to the thing and titrate you up into the thing until it feels more doable, till it feels more easy for you to do. Now, for me, this looked like the first few times I went live, for example, on Facebook, live streaming. There's, everything's happening in real time. The first few times my hands were a little shaky, my mouth was dry, my breathing was like really fast. That happened the first few times that I went live. And even now, it can kind of come up. It's not really anything that significant, but I do still have some feelings when I go live or even while I'm live. But the fact is, now I'm at a place where I can just do it and I don't really have to think too much about it, and I can post videos without like obsessively refreshing or worrying about what's going on with the video. I can sit here and I can record things because I genuinely enjoy it and I feel safe enough in my body to do so, and everything is okay. You see what I'm saying? It's not just about content. This is real life growth and personal development that I've been doing over the years. If you can train your nervous system to stay grounded when you're visible in front of strangers on the internet, then you can stay grounded in any type of work meeting, any type of high stakes negotiation, any type of difficult conversation. You just have better adapted biology for those things. You can stay grounded when you step into any type of moment that feels exposing. Creating content kind of became just like another form of exercise, another form of working out, where I got stronger and better with every single rep that I put in. And it wasn't overnight, it slowly happened over time. Now, the biggest reason I believe that people don't make content is because they're consciously or unconsciously afraid of vulnerability, afraid of being seen, and their ego works to protect them and keep them safe and keeps them unable to just make the content. Let's talk about that V word, vulnerability, just for a little bit, okay? It's one thing to post a pretty picture. I see a lot of people who say they're trying to post online and grow their brand, but they hide behind graphics and cute templates and words and polished quotes, right? And then you have other people that just hide behind their credentials, sharing the most boilerplate, bland, boiled chicken tips that like nobody really wants to read, okay? I said it, right? And it's another thing to share like a story about your real life. That's harder. It's harder to admit that you've struggled with something, that you don't have it all figured out. That is terrifying. That is crossing into that vulnerability territory, and that's hard because it makes us feel weak. And it can feel like we're handing ammo to people for them to use against us later. But here's the thing that I've learned over the years is vulnerability at the end of the day is only unsafe when you are not anchored into yourself, when you are not sure about who you are. That's when it becomes unsafe, okay? But the willingness to go there first and to give others the gift of going second is powerful. That's strong. The first time that I started sharing like my inner world, my struggles, the things that I was up against, like it wasn't easy, okay? And my brain was convinced that people could judge me and, look at me a certain way. But, it was also worried that there's going to be people who don't get it and people who misunderstand me. But that's always going to be the case, regardless. So you might as well just do it. And I'm glad that I did, because the messages that I got from the people who connected with the content were what made it all worth it. And I was able to be present with all of this stuff that came up and notice it because of the work that I had already been doing. And this is ultimately why I don't get in my way as much today as it relates to this stuff. But here's the thing that I want to add. I noticed how my body felt after opening up, after sharing something that could connect with other people, after realizing it didn't kill me. What I realized is you feel lighter because the process of creating content is unloading, unburdening, processing something that's beneath the surface and getting it up and getting it out, right? Like that actually is healing. And you might not know how much you're carrying in general because you never really let yourself become vulnerable enough to share anything. And content creation is what can help you become a lot better than that. And this is ultimately how I understood that the vulnerability isn't weakness. Vulnerability is strength in my nervous system, and it makes me a better person. Creating content reinforces the idea that you're safe to show up as yourself. And the more you practice that online, the easier it gets offline too. It gets easier to be real with the people in your life. It gets easier to say how you're actually feeling and to stop hiding behind all of the different masks that you wear. And, this is the process of becoming a more authentic version of yourself. So I could say more about this video, but I want to keep this one short. Let me know your thoughts. Are you a content creator? Do you want to be a content creator? What are your thoughts about content creators? Let me hear from you below in the comments. If you've ever thought about creating content or wanted to, but you stopped yourself because it either felt too scary or it felt too vulnerable or it felt too pointless because you knew that you wouldn't have big numbers at first, I get it. And I just want to remind you, content isn't about going viral. It's about practicing visibility. And it's about practicing vulnerability and allowing yourself to regulate through that process. And then hopefully, maybe you connect with some people and you create some opportunities and you help some people along the way. And if you let this process work on you and you work with it, you will see where your nervous system needs healing and you will be actively doing that for yourself. So these are some of the reasons why content creation changed me and has healed me from the inside out and has helped me be a better person, better communicator, better leader, better speaker, better, in a lot of ways. And maybe it could do the same for you. And if you would like some help getting out of your way, if you would like some support regulating your nervous system as you become more visible, as you put yourself out there online, as you own your voice, I can help. I have a few ways that I can help you. I'll leave a link in the description for that. Some of those ways you can go through something on your own. And then there's also the opportunity to work with me one-to-one. And that's probably the best thing if you're like, I want to get out of my way right now and get started because I don't want to miss the opportunity that is content creation and healing and personal development and self-growth and all the things that come with it. So my name is Sid Scott. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.